All right, give us a second here to get this thing up and running, get that green light that says we are ready to rock and roll. And it looks like we are. So good morning, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog, and this is a brand new live show right here on YouTube. Every Monday morning at 10 a.m. PST, we talk movie news, movie reviews, and a little bit more. So we had a little snafu here at the very beginning. Hopefully that's worked itself out. It looks like it has. We'll give everybody a second to get into this week's brand new episode, and then I'll be right back so we can start talking some movie news. All right, everybody, get ready, because here we go. All right, and we're back. Good morning, everybody. I am Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog, live on YouTube right now. We have got a couple cool stories to talk about as far as movie news is concerned. Then we're going to jump into one movie review. We're going to look at Certified Rad, my personal favorite segment, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray this week, what's hitting theaters, and then we'll let you guys get back to your Monday mornings. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and take a quick minute to get the commercials out of the way. If you have not yet clicked the subscribe button on this channel, please go ahead and do that. Then also hit the bell so you get the notifications as soon as new content drops right here on this channel. Also, if at any point during this film or during this show you enjoy the content, go ahead and give me the thumbs up, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie related shows find this movie related show right here on YouTube. And finally, don't forget to follow us on the Stardust app. Go ahead and download that from your app store. That is where we do all of the movie trailer reviews. So when you go to the movies and you watch those trailers, if you've ever thought, I wonder what Jeremy thinks, then you're going to want to head over to Stardust and check that out, because I've got over 100 trailer reviews up right now. Lots of content for you guys to check out. So go ahead and do that at your convenience. All right, but before we go into the movie reviews, we are going to talk movie news, and we're going to go ahead and talk movie news right now. Not sure what happened there. It was working fine moments ago, and then all of a sudden, nothing. All right, so let's go ahead and get right back into that. Now that we've gotten that weird thing out of the way, don't know what happened there, but we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. Weird things happen. It's part of Ghosts in the Machine. If you've ever worked with video and audio gear, you know that stuff happens. Unfortunately, it happened during a live show, so we can't correct it. Oh well. Moving on, here we go. All right, so if you check down below, you can see in the ticker tape, we've got a couple news stories that are running through there. These are things for honorable mentions, so just keep your eyes peeled on the ticker tape for some interesting news stories that dropped, two of which didn't sound believable, but I assure you if you Google them, they are. But they're also quite comedic. So go ahead and check those out. Also, just keep your eyes down there if you have any interest in other news stories that may have dropped off that I thought were cool but didn't really want to dig too deep into. That is going to be down below in the honorable mentions. All right, so let's go ahead and move into this week. We have got weekend box office reports coming to us here. Top 5, as you know on this show, we go number 5 to number 1. I already told you what I got out to see and review. That was Terminal. Yesterday for Mother's Day, belated happy Mother's Day to every mother who's watching this too, by the way. Yesterday for Mother's Day, went and saw Life of the Party. My mom wanted to see that, so we went and saw Melissa McCarthy's new movie. So stay tuned on this channel, because that review will be dropping later this week for Life of the Party, but it will not be reviewed on this morning's show. Only Terminal will be. But I'll give you guys, as we get closer to that segment for movie reviews, I'll give you just some initial thoughts about Life of the Party. And you can at least have that before the full review drops later this week. But I went and checked that out, went and saw Terminal, both very, very different movies, completely different across the board. So let's find out what you guys were seeing at the theaters based on what happened at the box office. So again, coming in from number 5 to number 1. Number 5, we have A Quiet Place with 6,400,000. Overboard with 10,100,000. Breaking In, 16,500,000. Life of the Party, 18,500,000. And then Avengers Infinity War crushing again with $61,817,000. So is there any surprises in the top 5? Surprises, no, but I am happy to see that A Quiet Place is still in the top 5. Again, this movie really impressed me. I went in thinking it was going to be just like a straight up horror flick. It turned out to be like a sci-fi kind of adventure thriller that has a lot of heart because it really focuses on the characters and what they have to go through to survive and the family structure and everything else. Really, really good stuff. So if you haven't seen A Quiet Place, definitely recommend you guys check that out. So happy to see that still in its 6th week, that it is still in the top 5. Really, really impressive. Not surprising again, because it's really a movie, but I am really happy to see that it's still there. Overboard, coming in at number 4. Now, I just saw this. My review for A Quiet Place, my review for Overboard, these are on the channels. If you go to the movie review playlist, you can find my thoughts in more detail there. Overboard was okay. I thought the biggest problem this film had was focus. It kind of just jumps all over the place. So to see that it's still in the top 5 in its 2nd week did surprise me a little bit. But then when I looked up kind of what summer movies are doing just right now before, like, let's say the first big summer blockbuster hits, right? Because that's going to be Deadpool 2. But so far, Overboard is the number 1 movie of the summer because the summer season per Box Office Mojo, it ranges from the first Friday in May all the way through Labor Day weekend. So Avengers Infinity War came out in April. It didn't come out in May, so it's not considered technically a summer movie according to Box Office Mojo. So Overboard right now is the number 1 movie of the summer. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. So we'll see. That's obviously once Deadpool 2 comes out, if that movie hits as well as Deadpool did, then that movie will be the reigning champ for the summer for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll have to wait and see. But Overboard probably won't be enjoying the number 1 movie of the summer for very long once the big blockbusters hit. But hey, I'm not going to take anything away from their success. Great job to everybody who worked on Overboard and was part of that movie. Like I said, it has a problem with focus. What's the story it wants to tell? It's got a couple of different stories happening all at the same time. So yeah, check out my review for more thoughts on that. Breaking In, coming in at number 3 in its opening weekend with 16 million. Great job to everybody that got out to see that. Like I said, the trailer looked good up until the Rihanna song, and then I was like, what's going on? And it pulled me out of the trailer, and I thought I was watching like a music video. But the trailer up to that point, I was enjoying. Gabrielle Union does a really good job in her roles, so not surprising to see that that came in the top 5. Life of the Party, as you'll hear later this week, not horrible, right? I was surprised at how much I actually laughed out loud in this movie. I thought it was going to be very static as far as like story goes and stuff like that, but it surprised me. It didn't like wow me. I didn't walk out of the theater like, holy cow, what an amazing comedy. There was none of that. I walked out of the theater and I was like, that was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. By no means am I celebrating this film as a summer comedy, but definitely enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And then Avengers Infinity War, right? You guys have been hearing me for a while now talk about how pumped I was that this movie was hitting theaters, how many times I saw it in theaters. My review is up on the channel for Avengers Infinity War. I really enjoyed this movie, and I said this movie should cruise number 1 all the way into like Deadpool 2 or Jurassic World, Mission Impossible. Like, these are movies that are going to compete with it, but I thought that Avengers Infinity War would be number 1, at least until we get Deadpool 2. So no surprise there. And Avengers Infinity War at $61 million. I mean, again, Deadpool 2 could, if it breaks $100 million, great job. If it doesn't, if it comes in a little bit lower, we may see Avengers Infinity War and Deadpool 2 a lot closer than people might be expecting. I don't think that'll be the case if it hits Thursday night, when that opening night hits and everybody gets out and starts talking about it. If it lands as well and is as well received as Deadpool, I think we're going to be all right. I think we'll be all right. Coming in at the top 10, we have, oh, this is surprising, RBG, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary. That came in at number 10. So great job to everybody who went out and saw that and supported that film, because that hit the top 10. Right after that is Black Panther, Tully, Rampage, I Feel Pretty. If you haven't seen Tully, I'm definitely going to recommend you see this movie. I put my review up on the channel for this. I would not recommend you watch this review until after you've seen the movie, because there's some big surprises in the story that really made the story nice and rich and full and three-dimensional about characters in this family. So really enjoyed Tully. So definitely check that out. I'm happy to see that that's still in the top 10. Obviously, Black Panther, no surprise there. That, as you'll hear, is getting ready to come out on DVD and Blu-ray. So it's in the top 10, plus you can own it. That's awesome. So check that out. All right, so let's go ahead and move now into the first news story for today. If you have any thoughts on the weekend box office, go ahead and throw them in the comments section below. Also, let us know what you got out to the theaters to see in the comments section. Leave your thoughts. Give a quick non-spoiler review, if at all possible, for what movies you enjoyed this weekend. Let us know in the comments below. All right, so first story up today is going to be coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Now, if you want to follow any of these stories, you can do that while we go through them here on the show. All you have to do is click the little button, the little arrow, and expand the description box. These links are down there. They're waiting for you. Follow along if you so choose. All right, so Sony is picking up Snoopy IP, so the intellectual property Snoopy, Peanuts, Charles Schultz, the beloved characters, Linus, Lucy, all of them. They are coming to Sony, it looks like. Sony has put in $185 million to acquire these characters and this property. So we have something to look forward to, because if you saw, this was 3 years ago, I think it was 2015 is when the Peanuts movie came out. And I saw that. I believe I wrote a review for that. You can actually, if you go to Brunansky's blog on my WordPress, that's where you'll find all my written reviews. And you can go back. You just have to type in the Peanuts movie in the search, and you'll be able to find my written review on that. And I believe that was 2015. I think it was about 3 years ago I wrote my review for that after seeing it in theaters. And that movie was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. If you enjoy Peanuts, if you enjoy all of these characters, this movie did not disappoint me at all. It was really nice to see how much care and attention they paid to these characters to make the world feel believable. Growing up on these characters in the Christmas special and everything like that, like there's a certain vibe and a certain energy and a certain like tone to the stories. And they did a great job of capturing all of that, but with more of like a modern spin and everything like that. Snoopy with the Red Baron. It's all there in this movie. So I'm really happy to see that Sony's picking this up, and they're going to continue driving the Peanuts train home for us, because I think there's a lot of stories that can be told for family, right? Not just kids, but movies that parents can take their kids to and families can spend some time together at the movies enjoying Snoopy and the gang. I think this is really cool. So I'm excited to see what Sony is able to bring with their animation department into this new world that they want to create as far as these beloved characters go. So stay tuned for that. I think it's great. If you haven't seen the Peanuts movie, definitely going to recommend you check it out. This is most definitely on DVD and Blu-ray. You can probably find it on Netflix or any of the streaming services by now, I'm sure. I don't know. But you should be able to find it online, most def, because this movie's been out for a few years. So definitely check it out. Give it a look. Let us know what you think about Sony picking them up. Do you think their animation team is going to be able to deliver quality products? I say yes. What do you say? Let us know in the comments below. All right, next up, we have Steven Soderbergh's story. This is coming to us from Deadline, as well as The Hollywood Reporter. I found the article first on Deadline, and then shortly afterwards, Hollywood Reporter threw an update in for an additional casting announcement. Both of these links, straight down. Hit them. All right, so coming in, we've got Steven Soderbergh is doing his next film is going to be called, is going to be based on the Panama Papers, and it's going to be called The Laundromat. Right now, it's got Gary Oldman and Antonio Banderas, and also, again, Meryl Streep. That announcement, again, just came in this morning. So Antonio Banderas, great actor, super talent, always brings the sauce when he's performing his roles. Gary Oldman, same thing. This guy, monster talent on screen, really gets into his roles. And Meryl Streep, I mean, if she's in the movie, it's just assumed that she's going to win an Oscar for her performance. So need I say more for her involvement? Not really, but we will, because that's what we do on this show. So these three actors coming in to play characters of based on a true story, I'm definitely interested in. Again, 3 super talents all coming together. This already is set up nicely. Super excited about this, to get more on this. Then you add someone like Steven Soderbergh, who has a really gifted, he's really gifted in his abilities to tell these stories on screen. I like him as a writer and a director. Unsane was a miss for me personally. I was kind of bored in that movie, but hey, you know, you can't win them all, right? You got good hits, you got bad hits. Every batter does not bat 1,000 when they step up to the plate, right? Sometimes you strike out, you pop out. It is what it is. You can't win them all. But collectively, Soderbergh's work I've really enjoyed. And whenever his name is attached to a film, the interest is piqued, and I'm looking forward to hearing more news about this. If you aren't familiar with the story, because I wasn't, in the article, it says this is a drama about the revelations of documents leaked from a Panama-based law firm by an anonymous whistleblower that was trying to provide details on investments and money trails from politicians around the world who were trying to hide their money. So this is kind of right in his wheelhouse, because he likes to do films that have a social commentary aspect to them. Whether I agree with his commentary or not, irrelevant. But he has these films in this style where he likes to tell these stories with these great characters, and there's always something layered in that's a social commentary. And he does a really great job of blending that into an actual story that is engaging, with characters that deliver engaging dialogue and great on-screen chemistry. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm pretty excited to see more from this, to hear who else is going to be joining and coming on board. It sounds like it's going to be like high intensity, high real life drama. Stakes are high, right? When you're messing with people's money, that can get hairy. So like, this has a lot of potential, and I'm pretty excited to see more from this story as it unfolds. Let me know what you think in the comments section about Gary Oldman, Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Steven Soderbergh. Let us know in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next story here. And the next story is coming to us from a Variety, and this is Nicole Kidman's crime thriller Destroyer. Was actually sold to Annapurna Pictures, and I was not familiar with this, so I did just a little quick reading here through the article, and it says that this is a crime thriller about Nicole Kidman plays an LAPD detective whose undercover work with a California gang as a younger cop has tragic repercussions later in her life and career. Wow, that's intense, right? So she thinks she's kind of, maybe she thinks she's kind of out of the game, right? She's whatever. And then, you know, it all swings back. The pendulum swings the other way for her. And now we are into intense drama, intense situations on the big screen. Nicole Kidman, very talented actor. So I'm sure she'll be able to bring the sauce on this picture. I really like that it went to Annapurna Pictures. Now, if you aren't familiar with Annapurna Pictures, I'm just going to go ahead and list off some of the films they've done that you've probably seen and enjoyed. And we're going to go all the way down to the bottom here of their list, because they came out with Lawless back in 2012. And then after that, Killing Them Softly, Zero Dark 30, Her, American Hustle, Foxcatcher, Joy, Everybody Wants Some, Sausage Party, Detroit, Professor Marston and the Wonder Women, Phantom Thread, so good. Phantom Thread, so good. And coming up next is Sorry to Bother You. So Annapurna Pictures has been doing a great job with their films, right? They're a little bit newer. They don't have as many films under their belt, but the films they've been delivering very well. So to see them come in and want to work with Nicole Kidman on this new thriller entitled Destroyer sounds super awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from this, kind of see who's going to come on board to co-star with her, what is going to be the situation with the director and everything else like that. Pretty excited to see more from this. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Also, let me know, what was your favorite Annapurna picture? Like, what was the film that they did that you really, really enjoyed? Let me know down there in the comments section as well. And we're going to go ahead and move now into the movie review segment. This is spoiler filled. And I can't stress that enough, because when I walked in to see Terminal, I thought I was walking into like a thriller noir dark comedy. And then, like, right at the very end of the movie, at the third act of the film, when everything comes to head, I realized my initial assessment about this film being a dark comedy was very, very, very wrong. Very wrong. All of those moments I thought where characters were being sardonic, I was very wrong about. So this is a spoiler-filled review, kind of explaining everything that this movie goes through. It is a very dark movie. It is a very graphic adult movie. But I don't get into any of that in the review, but I do talk about major spoilers that happen in this film in the third act. So if you have an interest in seeing this movie and you don't want it ruined, you are going to want to skip past this review. If you're watching this on replay, just skip past it, then come back to it after you've seen the movie. This was literally playing in one theater in my town. I had to drive all the way across town to go see this, but they did take Movie Pass, so I was super cool with that. But I did have to go out of my way to see this film because, again, it was only playing in one theater, limited release. But worth it, worth it. Really good movie. We'll go ahead and get you my thoughts right now on Terminal, starring Margot Robbie, Simon Pegg, and Mike Myers. That's right, Mike Myers from Austin Powers. So here we go again, spoiler filled. You have been warned. Spoiler, 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 spoiler filled review. You have been warned. All right, guys, here we go, and we'll be right back to talk. After this review, we're going to talk a little bit about what's arriving in theaters this week, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray this week, and my personal favorite segment, Certified Rad. Here we go with, again, spoiler-filled review of Terminal. So let's go ahead and roll to that right now. Two assassins are hired for a job, a teacher is fatally ill, a janitor seems to know more than he lets on, and a waitress seems to be serving more than tea and sticky buns to her patrons. Somehow, all of these stories are intertwined. So, does Terminal deliver on a dark but neon-filled crime thriller noir, or is this simply just the prequel to a Harley Quinn film? Let's talk about it in this review. Margot Robbie delivers a powerful performance of twins who are bloodthirsty sociopaths seeking revenge and power. It is important to note that she is a sociopath and not a psychopath in this film, because the journey we go on with her characters is exact and planned. As we find out by the end of the film, it's been planned for many, many, many years. This film is also shot so well that we don't even realize she's playing twins until the end of the film. And it seems kind of odd that her character is just able to appear here and there as the story progresses, which would be seemingly impossible for an individual, but very possible for twins. There's one assassin who highlights this feeling very well in the film because he's following her to a job to where he's going to get the call for the details on the next hit. And she kind of pops in and out in front of him, behind him, and it makes it seem like he's going crazy as we watch the story unfold. But again, as we find out, he's not crazy, she's just perfectly trapping him with this plan. Again, highlighting her character's brilliance with strategy and planning. While there are a lot of neon lights in this film, the overall tone of the movie is very dark and very sinister. Initially, I thought I was watching a thriller meets dark comedy, but by the end of the film, I realized the intensity of the story, and that really highlighted why the characters acted the way they did and why they said the things they said. This immediate and sudden revelation in the third act completely transformed my impression of this film and completely removed that dark comedy aspect that I thought was there and made this strictly a revenge thriller. What I thought was just characters being a little bit more sardonic was completely wrong, because again, by the third act, that impression that I had initially was very wrong. This film really travels into bleak territory and has zero hope for redemption for every single character we meet, minus the two bumbling thieves who try and rob people with a gun that has 0 bullets. Mike Myers plays a janitor who turns out to be so much more than just the supervisor. And one of the things I really enjoyed about this film was how the story just continues to build and build and build to the third act, and then it delivers surprise after surprise. When we first meet his character, it was pretty obvious and very clear to me personally that his character had a lot more going on than was being revealed. So I knew at some point the film was going to have to explain who he is, why he's important, what is his actual role in the movie, And by the end of the film, we do get that surprise, that twist, and then it takes us a little bit further and gives us another surprise as well. The movie literally feels like it's ending, and I thought, I swear I did, that we were getting ready to be set up for like this super dark, kind of Charlie Angels-esque type sequel, and boy was I wrong. The story continues just a little bit further and gets incredibly graphic. Simon Pegg plays a teacher who is dying, and initially we don't really understand why Roby's character is so infatuated with him. But throughout the entire film, their back and forth dialogue was written incredibly well. And again, it all ties together in the third act, and that's where we find out what a terrible, terrible person Simon Pegg's character is, and why her character throughout this movie is psychologically tormenting him. This was the absolute darkest moment in the film, and Pegg and Roby did an incredible job acting their roles in these parts. Terminal is playing in select theaters right now. Overall, this movie is about twins who are seeking power and revenge in a very Machiavellian way. The writing of the story, the performances that Pegg, Roby, and Myers all give were really well done, very haunting, very powerful. By the end of the film, we also find out that if the twins that Roby plays, want to dethrone the top mob boss, they will have to become the ultimate femme fatales. And in the process of becoming the ultimate femme fatales, they exact revenge on the man who abused them and the man who killed their mother. Their storyline does end on a high note, but this film is so dark and so adult that it is definitely not for your casual moviegoer. And because of that, it's getting only one high five from this guy. If you can handle TV shows like Law & Order SVU, and you are a big fan of neon lights, you may really enjoy this movie. Again, the actors in this film do an incredible job. Every single one of them brings the sauce, and the story is written incredibly well. Terminal is playing in select theaters. Check it out. All right, we're back. That was the full spoiler review for Terminal. Again, really enjoyed this film. Was not what I expected, but all of the actors in this did an incredible job. The movie, the way it's shot, looks amazing. If you've got a strong stomach, check this film out. Good stuff. All right, we're going to go ahead and move now into the last segment of the show, where we're going to take a look at what's arriving in theaters this week, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray this week, and Certified Rad. But before we do that, let me just give you a quick little overview of my thoughts on Life at the Party. Again, went and saw this film on Mother's Day. My mom was like, hey, let's go. So the fam, we went, we saw Life at the Party. The women in the audience really enjoyed this film a lot. I think it really struck a chord with people, and like being something kind of like heartfelt but still comedic. Like there was a lot of believability in her character, and then like as the movie progresses, it really feels kind of like everybody around Melissa McCarthy's character kind of like starts to pick up on the vibe, and the on-screen chemistry starts to work a little bit better. They start to gel. Again, this is not a great movie. It's not a film I'm going to be celebrating like, whoa, best thing ever. But I did laugh more than I thought I would. And this wasn't just like laughs like, ha ha ha. This was like out loud. Like that was surprisingly funny laughs. So if you want a lighthearted comedy that's not going to require a lot of you, but is going to touch on a couple of emotional points for you, maybe if you're a mother, right? Because all of the women in the audience who saw this seemed to really like connect with it in a pretty inspiring way, as far as like the power of film, right? What film can do and what movies can do to like create feelings inside an audience. It seemed to deliver on that, which surprised me. So check it out. Again, if you like a lighthearted comedy that's not going to require too much from you, but may hit and tug on a heartstring or two as you're watching it, definitely going to be worth your time with Life of the Party. And I'll give you my full review later this week on that. But let's go ahead and take a look at what else is arriving in theaters this week. We got a couple films coming out. The summer is kicking in, so it's going to be, we won't just be stuck to one movie or two movies now, and then having to decide what haven't we seen and what can we catch up on. It's looking like things are getting ready to drop, and we're going to have some options. So let's take a look and see if this week is one of those weekends. So here we go here. Coming in this weekend, we've got The Book Club, Deadpool 2, and Show Dogs. So out of these 3 films, the one that I am most excited to see and probably will see, and I will probably miss the other 2. Well, I'm definitely going to see Deadpool 2. Like, that's a given. I'm definitely seeing Deadpool 2. Really enjoyed Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool. That's just the way it goes. And he does a fantastic job with this character and in these roles. So really excited to see Deadpool 2 and what they can pull off as far as the sequel goes for an action comedy that's a little bit more irreverent and definitely self-aware. The Book Club, no interest in seeing that. In Show Dogs, man, this movie looks like it is geared for kids. Like, in my review for it, I think I said that it reminded me of something similar to like a Beverly Hills Chihuahua kind of vibe. And that's like really what I get for this. I feel like it's just going to be a movie like made for like kids. And this is going to be one of those movies where like as a parent, you begrudgingly go to the theater and you sit through this to make your kids happy. Like, that's the vibe I get from this movie. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This movie may surprise people. Maybe a lot better than what I'm anticipating from the trailers. With that whole, again, Beverly Hills Chihuahua vibe. But hey, out of these 3 films, I know at least for sure I'm looking forward to Deadpool 2. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week. We've got Black Panther and the story of Sampson. Both of these did get theatrical releases. As you know, if you're faithful watchers of the show, out of these 2, Black Panther is the one that intrigues me. Now, I've talked to people who did get out to see Sampson. They said it was actually better than they thought. They do enjoy movies that are more religious based. So take that with what you will. If you're the type of person who goes to see religious based films, I talked to some folks who were like, oh, you watch movies. Did you see Sampson? I said, no, I did not. And they said, oh, and then they gave me their quick review and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. They said it wasn't overly graphic. It wasn't overly violent because you know what this, if you know the story of Sampson, you know that the story of Sampson can be pretty graphic, pretty violent, dare I say hyper violent at some points. So they said they did a good job and it wasn't like overly, you know, gross and stuff like that as far as the story goes. So again, if you're in that niche of religious films, you may want to check out Sampson. Definitely going to recommend that you guys check out Black Panther. Really enjoyed that. My review for Black Panther is up on this channel. Again, just go to the movie review playlist and you can check that out. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into the last segment of the show, which is my personal favorite segment of the show. You guys never know what's going to drop, but I can guarantee whatever drops will most definitely be certified rad. So today for certified rad, we actually have a video clip coming to us from BBC, the BBC, that's right, over in the UK. And this takes place, according to the video, in Pennsylvania. And what happened, and again, you can click on the description box, hit that link, and watch the video through the BBC. What happened is this car somehow got turned on its side and caught fire in a parking lot, right? Just a parking lot. It's not on a highway or anything like that. I don't know how the car got flipped over. It doesn't really explain that. It's just a video showing the events. So the car is on its side. It's on fire. These people rush over and like, you can watch them. There's like 4 or 5 of them. And these dudes just like totally like dude out and like go superhuman strength and push the car while it's on fire. They push the car back up so it's not on its side. Then this cop runs over, smashes the window in, and they all drag this dude out of the car to safety. And then they come by and they try and like put the fire out on the car with extinguishers and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, not only did like these dudes like rush out to help somebody in definitely a time of need, but like they put themselves in harm's way as well by like broing out super hard and like doing just like a chest press, basically a chest press. If you go to the gym, like they just do this chest press of like pushing the car back up. Right. So it's like, what is going on? These guys, super, super awesome, stepping in to help out a fellow citizen in a definite time of need, putting themselves at risk, working with local police to get this guy out of his car, to get him to safety, and then trying to extinguish the fire before even worse things happen. The car explodes. More people get injured, right? You never know. There's gasoline in a car. You never know what can happen, right? So when you step outside of the situation and you really go in to help your fellow man and you see a time of crisis and you just act on it like a real life superhero, right? We watch these movies with Marvel. We watch these movies, you know, DC, Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. All of these characters are great. But you have these real life heroes like the local police and these random dudes really stepping up to the plate in a big way to save this guy's life and to pull him and extract him out of a burning vehicle. You can guarantee that that is certified rad. So check that video out. Again, the link is in the description box below. Super cool. Nothing like super like gory or gross or anything like that. Very straightforward. Hopefully the painting the picture I just painted for you guys, just by telling you it is an accurate reflection when you watch it. I think it is, but check the video out. Pretty cool stuff. Faux show. All right, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This has been another episode of Brunansky's Vlog right here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining me again every Monday morning, 10 a.m. PST right here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys stopping by, giving the thumbs up if you enjoyed any portion, because again, that thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Also, don't forget, if you haven't yet, click subscribe. Now would be a great time to do that. And then hit the bell so you get the notifications when new content drops. Because again, like I said, the trailer or the review for Life of the Party, the full review, that's going to be hitting the show later this week. So you're not going to want to miss that. So hit that bell when you click subscribe and you'll be notified once the new content drops. Also, before I go, don't forget to follow us. Whoop, wrong hand. Follow us on the Stardust app. As you can see there, again, just download that from the App Store. Find us at Brunansky's Vlog, and that is where I do all my movie trailer reviews. All right, everybody, I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog live on YouTube every Monday morning at 10 a.m. PST. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. Leave your comments below on all of the topics we discussed as well as the movie review, and let me know your thoughts about these films, this news. Are you excited for these films? What do you think about these actors? Did you see Terminal? Do you want to see Terminal? Let us know in the comments section below, and I will see you guys next week, Monday morning, 10 a.m. PST, right here on YouTube. But until then, and as always, good night and good luck.